Here we go. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our bright apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. All right, and now we get ready to do our second verse. Their hearts with love we're singing, fa la 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 la. Through the air glad tidings ringing, fa la 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 la. Let your spirit shine so brightly, fa la 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 la. Share the joy with hearts so lightly, fa la 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 la.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody's so lively, full of life and excitement today.
Holy moly.
Full of light. My name is Kay Yules. I am the trustee on duty today. And on behalf of Rev Donna, the Board of Trustees, and the practitioners, we welcome you and are privileged to have you here at the Sonoran Desert for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you can be. We're meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of the program, you will find the declaration. Please read them with me. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Do we have any first-timers today that would like to stand up and introduce themselves? Welcome, Tony. Do we have another one? No, we do not. Yeah, okay. Not a little one anyway. Are there any other new timers here, first timers? Okay, please join us afterwards for refreshments so we can get to know you just a little bit better and you can get to know us. I would like to thank all the people who made this service possible. And that is you sitting in the chairs. And that is everybody behind the scenes as well. Without everybody's presence and light, we just wouldn't be who we really are, which is love. Thank you to the ones who make sure everything is set up and in order for this gathering. Please direct your attention to the announcements on the inside of your program.
The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. And you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you. And you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. Good morning. We're all in our places with sunshiny faces. This thing is bugging me. Does it still work there? No. Okay. For our invocation, relax into the knowing. Let these words become yours. I am free with the freedom of God. I manifest this freedom in joy. I think of it with a deep inner sense of my union with the whole. In my own will and imagination, I see myself free, perfect, and whole. I feel back to the center of my being, which is God, and affirm that Spirit's freedom is my freedom. I enter into this freedom with complete abandonment, with the feeling that all things are working out well, with a deep and sincere desire to live my freedom. I am in gratitude for this Sunday celebration when we all come together to share the joys of freedom and for our partnership with the infinite. And together we say, and so it is. So I light the candle, representing our light. Let your light shine. Today is Miraculous Moments, and for the practitioners that would like to put on their stoles right after service, they will be available. That just means if you'd like a 1-minute prayer, come up to us and ask for prayer, and we'd be happy to share with you. There's nothing in the world like hearing a prayer out loud for yourself. It's a wonderful thing. So, and we are accepting your prayer request in the prayer box. This week's topic is around joy. I love the concept of joy, especially this time of year. However, I've struggled to find the formula, the roadmap to joy. Until now, I discovered a course online through Daily Om, written by Neil Donald Walsh. Remember him? Conversations with God? Here is what he has to share, and this is just an introduction. I think I'm going to go back and actually complete this whole course. It's amazing. All great truths begin as blasphemies, said George Bernard Shaw, and he was right. His observation explains why so many great truths must be very gently introduced, with voices soft, and the truths themselves understated. Yet, there comes a time when they can no longer be understated. They bubble up to life's surface and burst forth in all their glory. These are great moments for humanity, for it is through such explosions of great truth that our species evolves. Take this idea. You could be happier than God. What a thought. What a concept. It's revolutionary. So a lot of people have been resisting it. For years, they've been pushing against it, denying it, even making it wrong. Yes, people and ironically religions have been making it wrong to be even a little happy. let alone happier than God. Many people believe that life was meant to have a lot of pain in it. Suffering should be offered up to God. It should be endured in the silence. This earns you points to get into heaven. Our culture has completely adopted the idea that some people don't want to be happy all the time. When you talk about how you can be happier than God, they become fidgety, uncomfortable. They warn you that you're being unrealistic. They will tell you that life was meant to be unhappy. Life is a trial, it's a school, no pain, no gain, and all that. People in large numbers believe this. When you say to them that life was never meant to be unhappy, that no one has to be unhappy ever, they look at you sideways. They don't know what to do with that notion. They don't know where to go with it. And often they tell you where to go with it. Yes, this is blasphemy. The idea that you can be happier than God, yes, it's true. It's not too good to be true. It's too good not to be true. The good news is that you don't have to go through hell to get to heaven. This does not mean that you'll never be sad again, yet sadness and unhappiness are not the same thing. Am I happy all the time? No. I'd be lying if I said I was. Am I happy more of the time than ever before? Yes. Is it starting to feel like most of the time? Yes. Do I really think I can be happy all the time? Yes. And you can be too. Happier than God. So let's start with a basic truth. Let's see if it can be embraced as a possibility, at least. Work in your own life and your personal belief system to eliminate any thought of separation from God. Just get rid of that theology. Separation theology is a theology that insists that we are over there and we are here and God is over there. This separation theology has produced a separation cosmology, a way of looking at all life on this planet that includes separation as a basic principle. This in turn has produced layers of beliefs and actions related to separation. Only when our separation theology is replaced by a unity theology will our separation pathology be healed. We must come to understand that all of life is one. This is your first step, and it's mine. It's a jumping off point. It's the beginning of the end of how things now are. It is the start of a new creation, bringing into reality the greatest vision you've ever held about who you are. The greatest joy. The unspoken truth reveals to us that oneness is not a characteristic of life. Life is a characteristic of oneness. Life is the expression of oneness itself. God is the expression of oneness itself. Life and God are one. Oneness is God and life. It's a circle. When we understand this, we see God in everyone and everything, including our divine selves. We see clearly that we are God-godding. That is, God in the act of recreating God's self, God and life, evolves. God never stays the same, but becomes bigger and more of what God is in every moment. All of life is divine, and when we treat all of life as divine, we will change everything. For how can one aspect, a single individuation of divinity, ever be totally happy when the other is totally unhappy? The answer is that it cannot. Thus, we will raise each other up so that we might all experience ourselves one by one being happier than God. And that is where we find joy and live in joy and celebrate joy and share joy. Namaste.
I too had an interesting thought about joy. I had to actually look it up when I was figuring out the music for this week. What is joy? And for me, at the end of all that, it became freedom. Oh, my life has changed, how it's changed, and just things just ain't the same. Don't fence me in. And over time, I went blind from religious paradigm. Don't fence me in. I want to be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you, please don't fence me in. Just turn me loose, let me straddle my new saddle underneath the desert sky. There's no excuse, let me wander, ever ponder, till I see my spirits rise. I want to live in the law of circulation, changing my mind without speculation, creating my life with much anticipation. Don't fence me in, just turn me loose, let me straddle my new saddle underneath the desert skies. There's no excuse, let me wander, ever ponder, till I see my spirits rise. I want to live in the law of circulation, changing my mind without speculation, creating my life with much anticipation. Don't fence me in. All right, good. Now I know you can sing along. Thank you. Don't fence me in.
I just love your creativity.
I'm going to give a lot of credit to Stephen. He helped co-write those lyrics.
Did he? Okay, great.
His paradigms have changed.
That's so fun. That is so fun. Good morning.
Good morning.
We just had Thanksgiving and now it's Christmas. You know, I mean, even, I know we've gotten some pumpkins up and some harvest things up and some orange things up and lots of Christmas tree stuff up. So I do want to thank Don and Bruce and whoever else for taking down our Thanksgiving tables, putting up and setting up the trees. And of course, I want to thank Amy for all the hard work she's put in creating our angel tree. You know, I remember the Christmases of my childhood. This is sort of in the way. My mother would decorate anything that wasn't moving. Anything. I think we even had toilet paper with holly on it, you know. I mean, and while she was not a great cook, she loved to bake at Christmas time, and those smells of brownies and cookies would just permeate the entire house. But this can be a tough time of the year. with the shorter days and longer nights and colder weather, we are biologically programmed to reflect the seasonal patterns in our emotional lives. So our bodies and brains respond and react in predictable ways to decreased temperature and fewer hours of light. And there's even a name for it. It's called seasonal affective disorder, SAD. What an appropriate acronym. And even in our warmer climate here in Arizona, this time of the year, we are more likely to kind of want to hibernate, sleep more, and sometimes we feel things more intensely. We feel sad a lot. And that biological and emotional response to the greater darkness makes this a season that is ripe for symbol, ritual, and metaphor. Our distant ancestors believed that they had to follow certain rituals in order to coax the sun back into the sky at the solstice time. They lit fires, they sang and danced so that the sun would move closer to bring back its light and its warmth. Today we have a scientific understanding of the season, so we don't have to light fires or dance around a Yule log to make the sun move. But the cultural rituals and practices that have grown up over the centuries in all parts of the world reflect the deep desire of our emotional connection to the rhythms of the planet. The celebrations we create are designed to serve the emotional needs of this time. Our homes and walkways are illumined with candles and lights on Christmas trees and on wreaths. We exchange gifts, we eat and drink and celebrate the power of our hopes over our fears. We call forth the triumph of light over darkness in our hearts and minds. Christmas is not the only celebration of light during the month of December. There is the Jewish festival of lights called Hanukkah, the African American celebration of Kwanzaa. Sweden, Norway, and Finland celebrate St. Lucia Day in honor of their patron saint of light. Ancient Rome celebrated Saturnalia. The Middle East has Yalda, celebrating the birth of Mithra, the sun god. The Slavic nations celebrate Karachun. The Hopis and Zunis have the soil. And the Chinese solstice celebration is known as Dongxi. So I have chosen 'Tis a Season because it's a universal season. And it's 'tis a season of joy. And Melinda mentioned it, and we've talked about the difference between happiness and joy. When we look at the words that are considered aspects of God, we find the word joy rather than happiness. And I think we all kind of know what joy is, and we sense that there is a difference between being happy and experiencing joy. To me, being happy is situational, dependent upon an outside circumstance. I am happy when, or I am happy because, and we can fill in a blank. But joy is a deeper thing than just the result of happy circumstances. If it were only such a result, there would be times, many times, when we could not have joy. And in truth, joy is always ours. Happiness comes because of experiences. Joy comes in spite of them. Theologian Karl Barth said, "It is a defiant nevertheless." Isn't that wonderful? No matter what's going on, nevertheless. No matter what our circumstances are, and even in the midst of tears of sorrow or frustration, we sense, nevertheless, that there is a joy that undergirds our very being, that supports us even in the most trying of times. And we've had some sorrow this week. Mary DeLange passed away last week, and I got a call from Loma that Boynton had passed away just yesterday or the day before. But I love the way that we kind of hold these things, this joy and sorrow, as a paradox in our life. Gibran tells us your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the selfsame well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears, and how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your soul the very wood that was hollowed with knives? And the Sufi mystic Jalaluddin Rumi tells us, don't turn away. Keep your gaze on that wounded place. That's where the light enters you. So joy is a soul word, embracing both the positive and negatives in our life experience. According to Lutheran minister William R. Matthews, joy means not settling for first impressions, but allowing things to simmer until truth bubbles up. Our Christmas narrative tells us that the shepherds first quaked in the sight of the vision of the angels. It took them a bit of time to understand the power and the joy in the message that they were given. And you and I can all relate of how something we had first feared or something we did not understand became a blessing in our lives. A singular event leading to a vast transformation, because we chose to sit with that first impression until we found its deeper truth. And it is in touching that deeper truth that we find our joy. According to Unity minister Thomas Hopper, there's 3 chief things to remember about joy. First, it is the cause, not the effect, of good in our lives. Second, it increases for us through use, because when we speak, think, and act with joy, there is no room for anything else in our lives. Third, we can cultivate joy by turning our attention outward by being of service to others. So let's look at these a little deeper. Joy is the cause, not the effect, of good in our lives. Last week we saw the film A Good Day by Brother David Stendhal Rast. And on his website is also his pledge for grateful living. And the very first paragraph reads, "In thanksgiving for life, I pledge to overcome the illusion of entitlement by reminding myself that everything is a gift, and thus to live gratefully." A sense of entitlement puts us in a place of judgment. We have expectations about the way life should be, about how others should act, about how things should be different. All of these thoughts and ideas keep us from seeing everything as a gift, and so we mask our own joy. In the Book of Awakening, Mark Nepo tells a story. A woman found a folded sponge, all dried and compressed, and tucked inside the hardened fold was a message she had been seeking. She carried the hardened sponge to the sea, and up to her waist in the deep, she watched it unfold and come to life in the water. Magically, the secret of life became visible in the bubbles being released from the sponge. And to her amazement, a small fish trapped in sleep in the hardened sponge came alive and swam out to sea. From that day on, no matter where she went, she felt the little fish swimming in the deep. And this, the swimming of the little fish that had for so long been asleep, gave her a satisfaction that was somewhere between peace and joy. Mark goes on to say, whatever our path, whatever the color or grain of our days, whatever riddles we must solve to stay alive, the secret of life somehow always has to do with the awakening and freeing of what has been asleep. Like that sponge, our very heart begs to unfold in the waters of our experience. And like that little fish, the soul is a tiny thing that brings us peace and joy when we let it swim. But everything remains hard and compressed and illegible until, like this woman, waist deep in the ocean, we take our sleeping heart in our hands and plunge it tenderly into the life we are living. I love the idea that joy is the cause rather than the effect in our lives. Mark Nepo's story tells me that when I give up my feelings of entitlement of what should be and simply stand in the awe of each gift that life brings, then I can allow the depth of joy to flow through my heart. As a matter of fact, Don, when I sent an email out to the board about Boynton, Don sent me an email reminding me that at one of our volunteer dinners, he and Al Updegrove set out grills and grilled salmon and steak for our volunteer dinner. And I had forgotten that, so when he reminded me, there's that joy that is welling up within that sorrow. And that's what really and truly life is. And number two is it increases for us through use, because when we speak, think, and act with joy, there is no room for anything else in our lives. And as I said, certainly we're not going to be happy all the time. That's what Melinda said. One of my favorite quotes by Joseph Campbell is that we participate fully, and we participate joyfully in the sorrows of the world. We cannot cure the world of sorrow, but we can choose to live in joy. Our philosophy tells us that what we think about, what we focus on, tends to become a reality in our life experiences. So it makes perfect sense that if we embody joy, if we keep watch over our heart, then that inner strength is outpictured in our world of affairs. And when we do have those moments of sorrow and suffering, which are a part of our humanness, we are aware that joy undergirds us and holds us close. And an important Hasidic rabbi was on his way to teach a village that was very interested in his ideas. This was to be a very big event, and each Jew in the community made great preparations, pondering what questions he or she might ask this wise man. The rabbi finally arrived, and after the initial welcome, he was taken into a large room where people gathered to ask their questions. There was tremendous anticipation and excitement all around. The rabbi walked silently around the room and then began to hum a Hasidic tune. Before long, everyone began humming along with his soft voice. As people became comfortable with his song, the rabbi started to dance. He danced everywhere in the room, and one by one, every person danced with him. Soon, the whole community was dancing together. Later in the night, the rabbi gradually slowed the dance and eventually brought it to a stop. He looked into everyone's eyes and said gently, "I trust that I have answered all of your questions." There was no need for words. The joy that emanated from the rabbi and from the music and from the dance became the catalyst for each person's healing and transformation. As we understand that joy is a cause and not an effect, then we won't seek joy from someone else, but rather find it inside of us as we see our life and each experience in it as a very precious gift. Third, we can cultivate joy by turning our attention outward, by being of service to others. There is a Chinese proverb that says, if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a month, get married. It's a quote. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help others. And finally, from Rabindranath Tagore, he says, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, I found that service was joy. So service rests on the premise that the nature of life is sacred, that life is a holy mystery, which really has an unknown purpose. When we serve, we know that we belong to life and to that unknown purpose. When we serve life not because it is broken and needs to be fixed, but because it is holy. And I thought about this when I thought about our angel tree. We are giving not because someone needs this, but we are giving because it is holy, period. When we give from our heart, something beautiful happens to us. We become receivers as well as givers. And there is a sense of profound joy in connecting with others through service. So as we move into this season of joy, this season of lights, let's remember that joy is an inside job and seek ways to commune with that joy within us. Let's keep in mind that joy is a cause rather than an effect, so we don't look for joy as much as we allow it to well up from within us and spill over onto the people that we touch. Let's express joy through our use of us, the words we speak, the thoughts we think, the actions we take, so that we have something that carries us gently through those moments of joy and of sorrow. And let's be of true service to others, realizing that service is an experience of mystery, surrender, and awe, and it is the connection that brings us together in this season of joy. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you.
How much joy can you take? How much light can you make? Open your heart, take my hand, feel all the joy you can stand, all the joy you can stand, all the joy you can stand. Open your heart, take my hand, feel all the joy you can stand. How much joy can you give? How much joy can you live? Open your heart, take my hand, feel all the joy you can stand, all the joy you can stand, all the joy you can stand. Open your heart, take my hand, feel all the joy you can stand. Don't hold back, let it flow. Can you take it? Let it show. Joy is endless, overflow. All the joy you can stand. How much joy can we share? How much love is everywhere? Shout it out across the land. Feel all the joy we can stand. Here we go. All the joy you can stand. All the joy you can stand. Open your heart, take my hand. Feel all the joy you can stand. Feel all the joy that we can stand.
That was fun. Great, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, thank
That
you.
one, that's fun.
Thank
yeah. Okay, it's time for our offering, a chance to put that law of circulation that we sang about earlier, Heather sang about, in process. So won't you join me with our offering affirmation? My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And again, thank each and every one of you for your generosity, not only financially, but in all the ways that you serve our center and make it what it is. Thank you so very much. So let's close this portion out in prayer, and then please join us for lots of pie. for those of you who weren't at our Thanksgiving celebration, I think we had like 5 pumpkin pies, a couple of apple pies, and I don't know what all, but so we have lots of wonderful leftovers for us today. So please eat it all up. Okay, so we just take a moment to know that right now there is only one divine intelligence. We call it God. And this divine intelligence expresses in you, in me, as truth, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, love, abundance. And as we share this holiday season time together, we take the light from all things, make it our own, and share it with others, knowing that as we do, the world is brighter. I speak my word for anyone who's experiencing any kind of a pain or challenge during this time, and know that the power and presence of God is right there. And once again, I'm just so grateful to be a part of this beautiful spiritual family. And I just claim that all is good and very good, as we say together. And so it is. Thank you, and may we stand and sing Stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace.